Now, this story is an extract from the diary of a young girl written by Anne Frank herself. This diary was presented to her when she was 13 years old. On her birthday, her father presented this diary to her. She started making entries in her diary from 12th June 1942 onwards, and the last entry was on 1st August 1944. So let us see what she had written in this diary, and in your extract only a small part of her diary is given. Let us see what is included here. Hello Anuja. Now this story was written by Anne Frank, as I told you earlier, who was a German-born Jewish girl. And these Jews were totally being treated very badly by the by Hitler's army. So they were in hiding at that moment, right? So Anne wrote this diary. Now she felt she had no friends at all, though she had a family. She had around 30 friends in school. She had so many family members, but then she felt she was lonely. Why she felt lonely? Because she felt that no one was prepared or ready to listen to her thoughts and ideas, because everyone was in trouble. If you can understand, all were in hiding. Everyone was under very tricky circumstances, and so she felt that no one would be ready to listen to her ideas or thoughts. So she decided that this is a very good outlet for her. Writing in the diary would be a very good outlet for her. So she started writing in her diary, and this diary was named Kitty by her. She gave a name. She was very fond of this diary, treated the diary as her best friend, and she gave a name Kitty to her diary. So what did she write in her diary? She didn't start right away. Making entries from the day of her birthday when she received her diary. What did she do first was she wrote an introduction of herself, and she had written about all her the days in the past. She wrote most of the diary while hiding, isn't it? In her father's office building in Amsterdam. They were hiding in an office building in Amsterdam, that is in Netherlands, to escape the persecution of the Nazis during the Second World War. So this story from the diary of Anne Frank dates back to that time during the Second World War. Before she begins writing her diary entries, she gives a brief sketch of her life. She was born on 12th June 1929 in Frankfurt, Germany. Her parents moved to Holland in 1933. In the year 1933. She and her sister Margot followed afterwards. They temporarily stayed with their grandmother. First her sister Margot went to join her parents, and later on she too joined her parents in Amsterdam. where they were in hiding. So let us see what she writes in her diary. You can understand this is all very depressing situation. Staying in hiding, and there's no one to talk to. They were always afraid that they would be found out, right? So she you expect her to be very sad and dull and in an off sort of mood, but it wasn't that way. In spite of the depressing conditions she was in, she was always playful, cheerful, and in a happy mood. She had a humorous touch to her actions. So we can see sorry, we can see she writes about what she had what she had written on her first day. She started off with the family introduction and all, and then the first thing she describes is her classroom setup. They were all waiting for their results. You know how results day is, isn't it? All the students are usually sitting at the edge of their seats. They're nervous, right? So everyone was expecting the results, and they were all, like fingers crossed, they were waiting to be promoted to the next class. Everyone was being expecting to be promoted to the next class. She was very confident that she and her friends would definitely be promoted to the next class, whereas she doubted the boys would be promoted. She shares good relations with all her teachers. She was very happy with all her teachers, except for with Mr. Keesing, who was her math teacher. He was a very strict person, a disciplinarian, and he was often annoyed of Anne Frank. Why was he annoyed? Because she was very talkative in the class. Obviously, teachers would be annoyed with students who are talkative in the class, right? They disturb the class. So, Mr. Keesing, who was her math teacher, was annoyed with her. So, he kept on telling her not to talk, but she wouldn't listen to him. She went on talking in the class. So, what did he do? He gave her a punishment. What was the punishment he had given her? He asked her to write an essay on the subject, a chatterbox. A chatterbox. This was the topic given to her as a punishment. So, a very strange topic to write on. But then, she's very good at writing. So, she goes home. She decides that she's going to do this at home. And after going home, she writes a very good essay on chatterbox. In her essay, she cleverly argues that though she will try to talk very less in the class, she is going to put her efforts in it, but then she says she will not be able to do much about her inherited characters, inherited traits. She says she got this trait of talking too much from her mother. So, how can she not be able to talk? She says, I have inherited this character trait from my mother, and it's not possible for me not to talk because I am just like my mother. That's what she argues in her essay. What was the topic? A chatterbox. So that's how she writes the essay. Initially, she does think, she doesn't want to cheat her teacher by writing, giving lot of space and things like that. She didn't want to cheat on her teacher. So she wanted to do it in a systematic way, in the correct way. So she writes a proper essay, giving out a proper reasoning for her talkative nature. So that's how she hands the essay to her teacher the very next day. Mr. Keesing, he was very much amused at her argument. But then, that day also she keeps on talking and annoys him. So, he gives her another essay to write as a punishment. What is the second punishment essay he gives? An incorrigible chatterbox. Incorrigible. Someone who cannot be corrected, rectified. An incorrigible chatterbox. That was the second essay given as punishment for her. And does that also well. Second time writing on a similar topic, it's going to be difficult on her. She had fewer ideas, but then she was able to pull it up, and she was able to do the second one also. So for the next couple of classes, Mr. Keesing did not bother her with any punishments. But then once again she went on talking. After a couple of days, once again she went on talking, and he was thoroughly annoyed, irritated by her talkative nature. So what did he do? He gave her yet another punishment. This time he gave her the title, "Quack, quack, quack, said Mistress Chatterbox." What was the first title given to her? A chatterbox. Second title was an incorrigible chatterbox. And the third time, what was the title given to her? Quack, 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 said Mistress Chatterbox. So this was the third one. So all her ideas were exhausted by then. You cannot keep writing an essay after essay on the same topic, isn't it? Your ideas will be exhausted. So similarly, Anne Frank's ideas also were exhausted by then. She knew that Mr. Keesing is trying to play a joke on her. He's trying to insult her, humiliate her by giving the same topic time and again. So she plays along. Yes, I'll do it. But then she wants to make sure that the joke is on him this time. How does she do it? How does she do it? She does it by taking the help of her friend and writing in verse. That means in the form of a poem. Now in this poem, she writes about the story. She writes a story about a duckling, a baby duckling. There were 3 baby ducklings, and they were very noisy. The father duck was very annoyed, and so he bites and kills the duckling because it quacked too much. So she brings this verse, the third essay, that is quack, 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 said Mistress Chatterbox, and hands it over to Mr. Keesing the very next day. When Mr. Keesing reads this, he understands that he is behaving something like the father duck, who was annoyed and who tried to bite the baby ducklings to death just because they were making too much noise. So he feels that he understands her feelings, that he's trying to cut down on her freedom to speak. Okay, he not only enjoys this poem, he reads it out to the class, not only to their own class, but also he takes it over to the other classes and reads it out to all of them. And from then onwards, there was a change in the attitude of Mr. Keesing towards his students. He became more and more tolerant. Even if they were noisy, he was more tolerant. He would tolerate them, and he never again gave her or any other student punishments for being talkative in the class. So this is the extract from the Diary of Young Girl we have in our textbook, with the title From the Diary of Anne Frank. Now, what do we understand from this little extract? What are the things we learn from this little extract? Firstly, we should be very grateful for what we have. We are living in very comfortable situation. We are leading a very comfortable life. We should be happy that we are very free and comfortable. Okay, we should not always complain and cry over things we do not have. Unnecessarily, there is no point being sad about what we do not have, because life is unpredictable. We do not know what is going to happen tomorrow. Be happy with what you have, be satisfied with what you have, and enjoy your present day, as if we do not know tomorrow is going to exist. Today, as if today is your last day. Enjoy every moment of your life in celebration of being alive. Do not complain. Anne Frank did not complain that she did not have this, she did not have that. They were in hiding, they were in very trying situations, but then she never complained. You can see how jovial and humorous she was in spite of her conditions. That is the first thing we need to learn from this lesson. Second one, never stop dreaming. You need to dream all the time. Never give up in life, because life can be happy and positive. If you have a positive attitude, definitely you're going to see life as a positive thing, just like Anne Frank. She found her happiness just in writing in her diary. There was no other happiness for her, so she searched for it and found her happiness in writing in her diary. The third one is, you need to let out your steam. You need to share your feelings, whether it is sad or joyful feelings, with someone or the other. Sharings helps you reduce the burden. Even Anne Frank she was feeling a burden earlier, before she started writing the diary entry, and once she started writing, she said, I would want to get all my ideas off my chest. She wanted to put them onto the diary, so that she would be free from all these thoughts and ideas, right? Even you, whatever ideas you have, you find a suitable person who would lend an hearing ear to you, and share your thoughts and ideas with them, just like Anne Frank did with her diary, Kitty. This is very, very important, because by sharing, you're able to get off all the stress off your chest, and you will be mentally fit. This is also very, very important, right? So you find that this girl, who seems to be very funny, humorous and all, towards the end, she tries to, in a very soft way, in a very soft way, witty way, she tries to explain to her teacher that she was not very happy and comfortable receiving punishment this way. So she shows her responsibility, she shows her confidence, and she shows that she is a very hopeful person, right? So this is about the story or the lesson from the diary of Anne Frank. If you have any doubts, you can always share with me. Thank you all. See you in my next video. Yes, I'm seeing some of my old students here. I can see Anuja, I can see Om Varade, Piyush. Good to connect with you all. Yeah, please share with all the students who are in 10th standard presently, so that they will also